So I wanted to ask you, what was your first experience with comic books?
Uh, we would take family road trips to go and visit my grandmother. And this was before there were iPhones or TVs, and the dad was getting to listen to whatever radio they wanted to listen to. So in the back of the car, we had a couple of puzzles, some board games, and comic books.
Oh, that's fun.
And one particular trip, I can't tell you why. This particular trip, maybe it was the right age or something. I was just sitting in the back of the Ford station wagon on day three of our drive, because it was a 3 day drive, and I was reading Avengers 118, and all of a sudden it clicked. It went, "What are these magnificent things?" And I needed to know what the next story was. It was the lead into the Avengers versus the Defenders,
Oh, yes.
Evil Eye storyline. And so when we got to my grandmother's house, I was like, where do I get the next issue? My parents had no idea, and so from that point on, I was on my own. But I think that was the first time I was self-activated, where I needed to go and find out more information. Before that, any kind of entertainment and things like that I was either taken to. I was the youngest in my crew. So this was the first one where I was like, I need to, nobody else is going to help me on this one.
I love it.
So,
So how did you end up finding the next issue? What was the?
so in my town, I come from a little town outside of Chicago, a place called Itasca. There was the drugstore and there was the 7-Eleven. And those were the two places that had comic books. But fun thing was the 7-Eleven stuff, they were just better, I guess, run. They would restock all the time. The drugstore, not the case. It was run by an older guy, and so he had just like a little newsstand area. So he had stuff that had been sitting there for a long time, and
You wanted to go to 7-Eleven instead of the drugstore, huh?
oh, no, no, no. I wanted to go to the 7-Eleven, but I went to the drugstore and they had all of these back issues. So,
Oh,
at that time, comic books were kind of moving between 20 cents to 25 cents. So I would mow all of my neighbors' lawns on the block. It was at least I would come out with $5 a lawn. It was
oh
at
wow,
that
that's
time. So
pretty good.
you better believe it. All of a sudden, I set up an industry around the age of 11.
Wow,
I was mowing pretty much everybody's lawns on my street just so I
just
could get my comic book fix.
I love
Yeah.
it.